So guys, let's do one of those videos again. What are my 3 wishes for the next update? So we are about 1 month to when the dev blog should more normally start, so we are up, we are coming to the next update. It will take a little bit of time yet, of course, but it is getting closer and closer. And before we get to that update, I really would like to show my 3 wishes if I would be the head of Gaijin, for example. What are 3 things, small things maybe, that I would add? Of course, there are major fixes that are needed, major things that could change, but what are 3 little cool things that I would like to see? And you tell me in the comments what is yours, okay? So we start off with one that would be very useless, to be honest, but I would see it as a very cool addition. It is more anti-ship missiles. Yes, we had the ESM 1 and 2 being added last patch, and of course we have the Cormoran, and they actually fixed these missiles, they are now workable basically. They work in a way that you can actually use them in the game. How useful are they? Well, not really, to be honest. They buffed them a little bit, but at the end of the day, they still don't do enough to actually be worth to actually use in a normal RRB match, right? And any other type of match would be completely useless to use something like this, right? So they're still kind of useless, but the more of these we have, the more people will like to see a use of in the game, right? So if we see more of these, we will have more of a pressure to have a usefulness of these missiles, right? I would give us 2 options over here. The Exocet, of course, which is a very well-known missile that was used by many nations, but mainly for France, of course. The Exocet would be used in the Super Etendard and many other aircraft there, and it would be very cool to see it. Another one is an American Harpoon, the AGM-84, right? It is another missile that I think would be very cool to see. Of course, one of the main vehicles that would use them is the A6E, the premium one. But of course, other vehicles can use it. Even I think like the F-111s, F-18s, even F-16s, if I'm not mistaken, can use these missiles. So it would be very cool to see more anti-ship missiles being added. Of course, we can even have stuff that are from the Russians as well. But anyway, you get the point, right? Another one would be new AA systems for the 3 remaining nations that didn't get a new one in top tier last update. I think they should focus on this, especially for the UK, of course, the Italians, and the French, right? The 3 nations that didn't receive one of the new, era AA systems with the new missiles and stuff. Of course, we already talked about multiple versions and vehicles that can be added, including, of course, the Sky Scepter, the Mika VL, stuff like that, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whatever it comes, it needs to come for these 3 nations. And I think it should be a focus for them, the next update, to add the 3 remaining nations to have a new AA. Of course, we even can talk about how China, although has an okay AA system in top tier, the CS-SA5 isn't the greatest thing ever compared to something like the IRIS-T SLM, right? But at the same way, I mean, they still got something, right? These 3 nations, they're still... I mean, Italy is just... I mean, the Auto Magic is the highest BR'd AA system that they have, right? So it's kind of like, oh my god. The French, of course, they have the ITO, which is... It's good, it's a good AA system. And of course, the ADATs as well. It can be useful. People complain about it, yes, I understand. It should be a better AA system, the top ranks of these nations. But at least they have something compared to Italy. So Italy would be like the major, one that needs something. But also I would include the UK and the French. And last but not least, I think a very cool addition. Of course, I can ask for MiG-25s and MiG-31s and, F-106s and all sorts of vehicles that I would love to see in the game. But to be honest, I would think that it would be a great option for them to actually add more 4.5 generation jets and not just normal ones. Maybe they should focus a little bit, one patch, on navalized versions of these vehicles. So yeah, we probably will not see these, but I would love to see them in one patch. The Super Hornet, the MiG-29K, and the Rafale M. Yes, there might be other ones, like for example the J-15 for the Chinese and some others, right? But yeah, these vehicles would be very cool to see in one focused, patch. Maybe add more carriers for us to actually, spawn in, like a Chinese one, a French one, not just the British and American and Russian, right? Yeah, it would be very, very cool to see more and more carriers, more navalized vehicles, especially 4.5 gens. Even we can see maybe, we have the Forrestal, if I'm not mistaken, maybe an updated USS, something like a Nimitz class, for example. If I'm not mistaken, they started their life, the Super Hornet, with the USS Abraham Lincoln, which, if I'm not mistaken, it is a Nimitz, right? So it would be very, very cool to see something like that coming to the game, right? So yeah, basically these are it. I know, not a lot, but of course, I try to maintain kind of a niche down kind of idea on the 3 wishes. Let me know yours in the comment down below. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like. And of course, thank you all the members and patrons. Bye guys, see ya.